Hey, what's up, guys? Do nice guys finish last? Does a woman's body count matter more than a man's body count? This is a dating review. And before we get into the content, I want to ask you guys that question to see where your mind is at. All right, because this is constantly coming up when it comes to dating. And it's a fair question, especially when it comes to men and women. Is it profitable? Is it ideal for men to be nice guys in the dating room, knowing that nice guys finish last because that term came from somewhere, right? Mostly experience. And does a woman body count matter more than a man's body count? Does women look at body count just like men look at body count? Should men care about body count? This is a great conversation to be had. Let's get into it.
Nice guys finish last. We'll start by bringing up everyone that agrees now.
Before they start, what do you think? What do you think? You heard the term a million times, and it stems from something, all right? Even if you don't agree, you heard the term before, and it stems from somewhere. So somebody got the butt in the stick to where this term has came out, because most guys observe this. I want to know what you think.
If you don't agree with this, just be wary of what is all over Netflix, propaganda on social media, etc. I mean, there's a reason why majority of the women watch like movies like or shows like The Vampire Diaries, and they're obsessed with the bad guy Damon, and then Damon becomes good, and now they're all back on Stefan because he's the bad guy. I mean, it is literally a term that is known and thrown around society today and has been around for years on years. I mean, perfect example is like, I have a couple guys that they're just extremely good gentlemen. Treat their, they court their women, they take care of them, and the woman could just throw it right in their face like, yeah, sorry, you're too nice for me, and then they just leave them. So
I feel like he kind of just said all of it, to be real. I mean, I feel like in a couple times in my experience that's happened where I've been nice to a girl, and then like obviously like she passed me up for some dude who was like just trash, and like you chalk it up to the game. But like I've also had friends who have been in the same situation, so I feel like if it hasn't happened to you, you at least know somebody that it's happened to. So I do think it's a real thing.
I'm assuming the question is nice guys as in the guys on social media that whine about, oh, I'm such a good guy, I don't understand why no girl wants me. They do. Some of them. They do finish last, but for good reason. They're usually not the best mates, if you know what I mean. They're obviously whining and crying for a reason. Like from what I see, not statistically, but from an anecdotal perspective, to kind of build up what you were saying, like the female fantasy is that guy who has that capacity for violence, that tame.
To be honest, the reason why they whining and crying because they were lied to. They thought that if they did exactly what women told them, as far as be a good man, be a pushover, do whatever they say, women would like them more. But they don't get that result, so that's why they complaining. Okay, not just because they cry babies. Men don't just cry. Okay, come on.
Well, monster kind of thing. We hear about that, I'm sure, on social media all the time. But I think those guys, they just haven't, either they are not tameable or they definitely just don't have that capacity for it, you know what I mean? There's those guys that like, yeah, oh, you can never hurt a fly. Well, that's not good, because sometimes you have to be strong, you have to be tough. One, life is hard, and two, if she wants to pick a mate, she's gonna want to pick a guy, like a traditional woman's gonna want to pick a guy that can defend her and her children that she might have one day. She's not gonna pick some guy who's keyboarding up, complaining about, oh, girls don't like me, it's because I'm 5'11". Well, I'm 5'10", and I can still talk to women. It's not that hard. Just because you're not 6 foot, they're looking for that tough guy that is able to still be a...
Bro, you kind of going everywhere. It's simple. All right, these guys complain because they were lied to their whole childhood, mostly raised by single mothers, and they were told to treat women well, not knowing how vicious women could get and how much women could take advantage of you if you're too weak. So this is why in the red pill world, they tell you to date several women to understand the nature of a woman, because most of the time they all act alike. They all expect the same things, no matter how high their body count is, no matter how short they are. They all look for the same type of man. And if they picked you and you're too nice, most likely they're going to take all your resources, drain you, and they're going to shame you for it. So imagine a guy being taught all that without being taught the red pill stuff. Eventually he will complain. That's just fair.
Gentlemen. So yes, do nice guys finish last? The stereotypical kind, yes. Is it good that they finish last? Probably.
Okay.
I would argue too that majority of the time, like, we're not saying that good guys don't always finish last. It's just the simple fact that like that term exists, and a lot of the times, like, what comes to mind for me is like the term simp. Like that's our good guy
Those are the good guys.
definition in today's
Nice
society.
guys.
So a lot of the times women look at guys and they're like, I don't want to be like overly pedestalized by this man. You know, I want somebody that's individual and takes care of his needs and then can also bring me along and then take care of me as well.
And I think that's a great time to hear what the women think. And our women. Quickly, I'm gonna get our last gentleman's comment and then
Good versus weak is what I was more referring to. When somebody says like the good guy finishes last, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that the weak men finish last. I think that the people that aren't seen as being able to support her properly or be able to stand in a position of relationship where, you know, she feels protected or comfortable or able to express herself the way that she wants to. And if you're going to sit there and be this good guy, what people think it's like more as this weak person who can't, you know, provide their end of the relationship is what I typically see. So, because I know a lot of quote unquote good people that are in that finish line of like what I want and like in marriages, you know, they have kids, they have families, all these things are really great people, but they're not weak in the same sense too.
Well, to be honest, a good guy is a weak man. I'll tell you the truth, man. But you got to put your foot down, and putting your foot down, you have to have the capability of being mean. All right, you're not gonna always accept certain bad behavior, and women don't like that. All right, they only like when a man is gentle, don't talk to him a certain way, don't ask them certain things, don't make me feel uncomfortable. That's basically what the women are saying. If you do that, you're no longer a good guy, right? And you shouldn't be a good guy, because a good guy or a nice guy is a weak guy. Okay, because all men feel uncomfortable. All right, our job is to let a woman know how uncomfortable we are, and that they should stop doing that, because it's never going to stop bothering us, whatever that specific thing is that they're doing that's bothering us. Now, if you sit there and allow it to happen, eventually she's going to keep doing it, and then she's going to shame you for bringing it up, because you always let me do it. Why are you complaining now? So bring it up now, right? Be that mean guy if you have to be, and they'll respect you for it later. All right, you have to demand respect, right? And it sucks that you have to demand respect from your woman when you got to demand respect from other men in the world, because that's a men thing, right? That's what we do. That's what we got to deal with. We shouldn't have to be fighting with our women for respect. But at this point in time, you do, okay? Because how many times in a relationship have you seen women say, like, you know what you signed up for? Okay, so if you don't press them, if you don't make them feel uncomfortable, if you don't say anything to them for their bad behavior, you will be tortured for it, if that makes sense, in a relationship, as far as being treated a certain way, being overlooked, and being shamed for you bringing it up at the wrong time or too long, and then now she's comfortable with doing this bad behavior she's comfortable, right? But she's okay with bringing up your bad behavior and telling you what not to do. All right, transparency matters.
So I guess I more so agree, but it's what is your definition of good guy?
yeah, it's in the wording. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, and just whoever would like to start over here.
I think I agree with what you guys said about putting a woman on a pedestal can kind of be a red flag. Past relationships, the nice guys in those, they did put me on a pedestal, and I feel like the lack of ambition for their own personal goals was a red flag. I'm a very ambitious person. I'm very career focused. I'm the youngest manager in my company and district manager. And so to have someone that settles for bare minimum, to me, that's a red flag. I have a lot of goals and dreams, and for someone that just kind of goes along with those but doesn't have their own, I think is a real turnoff for me.
Man, to be honest, men don't care about that. Men don't care about don't lead with that, man. Don't lead with what you do and the youngest manager. Men don't care anything about that. It seems very masculine. It seems like you're competing. They didn't have any ambition. And I think you're more worried about them not having ambition other than being nice to you and putting you on a pedestal, because women like when men do that. All right, just bow down, do what I tell you to do. Especially the men that they like. Obviously, she didn't like them very much. All right, but yeah, just don't leave with that, man. We don't care about that.
And I think that's what happened with those nice guys.
Okay, I feel like there's so many layers to the term nice guys finish last. For example, you'd mentioned like simp. I've actually never heard any woman around me refer to another man as a simp. I also reject the idea of needing like a super masculine man that's gonna come and save me and be my knight in shining armor. Yes, I'll read romance books where there's a strong man, but is that something that I actually want? No, when I genuinely tend to think of like masculine men or like someone who's overtly extremely masculine, I think domestic violence. So I tend to actually like a more of a feminine guy and a nicer guy.
Y'all need to whoever find this girl attractive with this with this blonde wig on, y'all need to watch out, because she's dangerous. She thinks masculinity is violence. Overly masculine is violence. No, overly masculine men is very brave men that are willing to put their life on the line for you. Okay, so if you think that way, Like, that's putting a man in danger, and you should watch out for that. Stay away from women like this.
But like one of the guys here had said earlier, I think a lot of guys say, oh, I'm nice, why don't I have a girlfriend? If all you have to bring to the table is the fact that you're nice and nothing else outside of that, that's not enough for you to just like have a relationship. Like I've talked to nice guys. I would hope that my partner would eventually be a nice person, but because you are nice, you are somehow below the guys that are like pieces of shit. I don't believe that. I feel like the women that are attracted to that are attracted to the trauma of it all. And if you understand like how trauma plays in relationships, you'll understand that like, if you're a nice guy, look for a nice girl, not a girl that wants to go there with you. And I don't think it's true that nice guys finish last. Again, I think a lot of guys frame themselves as being nice guys and then they go, I gave you food, why didn't you have sex with me? It's like, it's not really.
That's a whole bunch of gibberish, man. This is why the red pill is needed. This is why the
shit like that.
Say they always tell you that like that's not necessarily true, that women don't like nice guys. We see the results. Men are very observant individuals when it comes to getting what they want, right? I see it's not working. Whatever you tell them, this is why the guys complain. Like, he just explained it, and you just laid down why I said that men are complaining, because they believe what women say, right? These women will tell you what they want and do the exact opposite. The piece of shit guy that y'all talking about, that y'all got trauma from, he won. He got what he needed. He got whatever he was looking for and got up out of there. Why do we have to listen to y'all after what you just did? It's like, but there's no shame in tactic when it comes to what y'all want. Y'all get confused, whatever excuse you make to deal with this bad dude, and all of a sudden when you're done getting ran through by these guys, you want to come to us and say, come on, man, we like the nice guys. No, it seems like when it comes to the dating realm, because women do control the dating realm when it comes to intimacy, most guys want that. They will tell you anything they want to tell you, okay? But you got to know what they like. Okay, it's just that simple. And they're gonna tell you what benefits them. All right, they don't want to be looked at as a certain way, and they don't want you to think that you can ever like put your foot down on them on certain things. Okay, not foot down on them, like, because women like to take stuff literally, but put your foot down as far as, hey, I'm not gonna take this, I'm not gonna do this, and I'm not gonna buy you everything you want. That's not my job. My job is to be a man. Okay, either you take it or leave it, because I got options out here. I'm doing me. They respect that more. They might not like it. They might call you misogynistic. They might do all this other foolishness. But at the end of the day, you'll win more doing it that way. Okay, it's that simple.
Not really, like, usually I feel like in most cases it's just nice. There's usually like a devil tail hiding behind somewhere.
But I would argue in the sense of like what you stated, that majority of the men that are quote unquote feminine aren't looking to protect you in any like way, shape or form, in the sense that like, yeah, they might, in your opinion, like you might be traumatized from quote unquote masculine men, but when you're in danger, who's the first person that you call to come save you?
I called my blicky. So
You are
and
fake
this is funny
news.
because I was in a conversation, but I recently had to get a gun. I also, throughout media, we see time and time again, there was a little girl that was recently kidnapped in Arkansas, and she was like 13 years old, and she asked the men, can you help me? Can you help me? She went to 2 different places. None of the men helped her. In most situations, I actually don't feel like men are our protectors. I feel like men are protective over things that they feel like they
Y'all made it that way. The reason why men are protectors is because you guys made it that way. If you act a certain way and you say you don't need a man's help, and you say that, you know what I'm saying, men are toxically masculine, I don't trust men, why will we help you? Like, back then, y'all used to be innocent, right? Y'all used to be feminine. Y'all gave us a reason to say women off the boat first, off the Titanic first, women and children first. Now y'all get to a point to where we equal, right? So why? I mean, I'm not saying I would let a 13-year-old young woman get hurt, or that's not gonna happen. But when it comes to you saying that, you gotta understand that most men are picking up what y'all putting down, all right? And then when you're picking up what y'all put down, y'all can't get mad at the results of that. And this is what's holding you accountable. If you don't like it, stop saying that. Now, when it comes to you buying a blicky, ma'am, you don't understand the true nature of violence, right? Even women that have guns, even police officers train women with the blicks, okay? They get their blicks stolen all the time, okay? They get their guns taken away from them, disarmed all the time, okay? You don't understand violence, ma'am. You think you got it until you get punched in the face. And I'm not saying literally, figuratively, right? Nobody understands. Everybody know how to fight until they get punched in the face. And then it's like, what the heck? So I'm telling you this. You don't understand the true nature of violence, because most of the time women have not been through as much violence as men, right? So what I'm saying is that to respect violence is to respect men's masculinity, because we are the sole providers and protectors, okay? And don't disable us from our position because you get this type of problems that you're bringing up when you do that, okay?
I don't genuinely feel like most men are just like, oh, I'm going to be a knight in shining armor. In fact, in most situations where I've had aggressive men speak to me in aggressive ways, the people that have stood out to me the most have gone like, they've been women for me. Like, I don't feel a sense of protection when men are around.
Do you think society promotes that though? Do you think the way that women, not just women, but I guess society in a whole, they discourage men from wanting to step in and protect and do all these other things because you see so many, I guess, downsides for it when a guy steps in, the way that he does it, the way that he's protected somebody, society is blaming him for, doing it in an incorrect way or whatever it may be. What also kind of shines a light on that is the times that you do see when people call domestic violence situations, those that guy's a man, he has testosterone, he's probably physically stronger than a lot of those people. That doesn't mean he's a strong man. Like that's a weak dude that's sitting there causing violence and trauma onto certain people. But when you see a lot of society discourage men from being in, I guess, that traditional role of being a protector, that's probably why you see a lot of men not doing that now, is because they are discouraged to do so.
And that's where I get back to my point. That is a weak mindset in my opinion. If you feel like you are a protector, no matter who's saying if society's telling you, oh, you protected wrong, it wouldn't matter if your values were like in the fact that like you wanted to like protect people. I don't think society should have a way of shaming you into not believing in what you believe in. Because if you are able to be like maneuvered by society in a way like that, I don't think that's a deep core value you have. That's like something that people told you were a protector, people told you were a provider, and you built that mindset. And then you had a few women that were like, I don't actually want you to protect me. And now you're oh yeah, I'll just let the women on the subway get stabbed. Like, I don't know. It's just like, if you truly morally like actually felt a way about that, it wouldn't matter who. It wouldn't matter if my mom, it wouldn't matter if God said something. If you truly felt that way, your behavior wouldn't change.
Bro, I to be honest, I hate how they play the moral role. Man, you got a blonde wig on your head. Why? Right? You're a black woman, and you
don't go shit like that.
The patriarchy, the white beauty standard, whatever the hell. Y'all use anything to do what you want, right? It's crazy how people that do stuff like that will tell you stop listening to the Joneses, all right? Stop listening to women. And basically what you're saying is what I basically said. Stop listening to women and be a protector, be this. The only reason you want that is because you benefit from it, right? It's not because you truly care about women being protected and men doing, if that's the case, you wouldn't do the thing that you're doing, like wearing that blonde wig on your head. It's not your real hair. Where you learn that from? Society. But don't tell me not to listen to society when it comes to my protection and my provision, when it comes to me risking my life and almost dying out here trying to protect y'all because y'all very mouthy. And I think that most men don't just come up to women and is using their masculinity on women, right? Unless you're a masculine woman, right? And most of the time, right, the black stereotype is that black women are very masculine. Okay, they talk crazy. They don't have a boundary when it comes to respecting men because most of them don't have fathers at home. And I'm saying this because I was raised in a single mother household around plenty of black individuals around single mother households who acted this way, and our women act that way, right? When I say our women, I'm talking about black people. I'm just sorry to say that, but it's the honest truth. It's not just black women, okay? Nowadays it's very broad. Like everybody's learning this culture where they don't respect men anymore. They don't respect violence, okay? And this is why you get masculine men talking to y'all crazy, because no man just will go out openly and talk to a guy crazy. Talk to a woman crazy.
Deep core value you have, that's like something that people told you were a protector, people told you were a provider, and you built that mindset. And then you had a few women that were like, I don't actually want you to protect me. And now you're oh yeah, I'll just let the women on the subway get stabbed. Like, I don't know. It's just like, if you truly morally like actually felt a way about that, it wouldn't matter who. It wouldn't matter if my mom, it wouldn't matter if God said something. If you truly felt that way, your behavior wouldn't change. If your behavior changes based on societal like circumstances, then I don't think that's like a true traditional like core value.
I'll hop. I get what you're saying, and I do agree, like in the sense, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, where like if you think you're a protector, right, and you see something going wrong, like if that's your value, you should protect them, right? Then on the same side of that coin to what they were saying, like you see it all the time on social media, the little TikToks and shit, like a girl drop her purse, drop her wallet, the dude picks it up and he goes to give it to her, she's like, I have a boyfriend. And then it's like, dude, like what the like I'm just trying to help you. So it's like the media and stuff portrays that a lot. So I'm not saying like, I'm just saying it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like some people could get caught between that because it's like, yo, like I want to help you, but it's like, you know, they've seen so much of the media where it's like, well, if I go to help it, it's going to instantly backfire. I mean, like that prime example, like trying to give the wallet, I have a boyfriend, and it's like, I'm not trying to holler at you. I'm just trying to give you your wallet that you dropped. Like I could have robbed you, ran off with your cash, but I'm trying to do the right thing.
We can talk about it, but first we need to get their first statements and also kind of bring it back to the prompt itself, right? I mean, this is great. It's just let's get to the prompt and then this will come out from after that, right? So let's get yours and then it's all you guys.
No, I disagree because I think, you know, like kind of like what you were saying, like there's a difference between good and weak. I want a nice guy. I want a good guy, you know, I want that quality, but they have to be able to, they can't just be so passive, you know, they can't just, it's kind of like the idea of like, oh, they're put on a pedestal, but what are you providing? You know, it's like, great, put me on a pedestal, but let me also put you on a pedestal, match my energy. Like, let's put each other on a pedestal and build each other up. But I think, you know, there's a vast.
All right, but it's going to get to a point to where it's like, okay, you want a nice guy, but what could you offer him? What could you offer him? Have you ever asked yourself that? All right.
Vast majority of women.
How many guys have you been with to the point where now you want a nice guy? All right, it's levels to this, right? Just to where you realize that nice guys usually finish last.
And myself included, that like, you know, good guys want to be treated well, but also want like a man that's going to meet their energy. Like I'm a strong woman. I need someone that's going to match that. So I do like femininity in men. I think that's a wonderful quality, but there needs to be a balance. Just like within me, there needs to be a balance of my femininity and masculine qualities as well too. So it's all about balance and matching energy, I think.
As pertaining to the prompt, I feel like it's,
to be honest, dude, why do women create nuance where nuance was never beneficial? Like you being masculine as a woman is not beneficial to anyone. It's detrimental to you and your significant other, right? Your man. Nobody likes that, right? Even it's a balance. The guy needs to be feminine and masculine, bro. It's never worked that way throughout history. It never worked that way. I think that we became too weak in society, or too complacent in society, to where we forgot how evil this world is, right? I mean, the Epstein files came out and let you understand that it's an evil world we living in. You hear what I'm saying? And we need men to protect, and we can't be no weak men dealing with people who eat people. You hear what I'm saying? So in all reality, outside of the feminist brainwashing, men have to be men. That's the only way that men could protect. They can't be masculine, feminine here, and don't play games with this, because this is real life. The reason why the world is out of order, because we're out of order. All right? It's just that simple. If you keep playing this game, you're going to keep getting stupid results.
just a certain level of attraction, because like I feel like, this is just me personally, I don't know if they agree with this, but if I see you and I'm personally attracted to you, you could be the shittiest person in the world, or you could be the best person in the world. As long as I have that like attraction to you and you don't fuck it up, then we should be cool. And then I also feel like it's just a certain level of like masculinity. It's the difference between being comfortable in your masculinity and feeling like very toxic in it, to where you feel like you have to be this certain person or be this certain thing, or women.
Yeah, because y'all call stuff toxic y'all don't like, right? It don't mean he toxic, it's just that he putting his foot down. But if y'all don't like it, y'all label it toxic. That's why you shouldn't listen to women. If you put any standard upon them, especially these new age Gen Z women, they get mad at you for that. Okay, it can be simple. You can be telling them the truth. You ain't got to be cursing at them. You ain't got to be yelling at them nothing. They don't like it. Okay, it's toxic, right? Do you have a mom? Do you love women? Do you hate women? They do stuff like that. All right, so you can. It just hurts for me. Well, it just hurts my ears when women talk this way, as if they don't know what they do out here in these streets. You feel what I'm saying?
Are going to look at you as you're weak or this, that, and the third. Like, honestly, like me personally, I do want a masculine man. I want a man to sit there. I want to be led. As a woman, I feel like my job as a woman is to be led, not to be controlled. But if you telling me I'm doing this for your good, I'm going to at least take a step back and be like, okay, is he doing this for my good? Does he even have the qualities to lead me? Is he even able to be put in that position? So when we talk about all these nice guys, it's like you said, the difference between nice and weak. It's like, are you just doing this as a tactic of control? Or are you doing this because you really want to see me shine? You really want to see me grind?
There's something I want to see what you guys thought of, because based on like my understanding of looking into it, it comes down to like presentable value. So like if he's in a relationship with you and he's like putting you all the time, number one, I love you, beautiful, all this all the time, not really anything about him, they say that would be him projecting that he has no value. Like you have all the value. No offense, I'm not saying you actually, but you know what I'm saying? So it's like, men or women, they both walk away from people that provide too much of that validation. And I also read it's because people think that we want love, but what we really want is reward. So like it would hit a lot harder, like a slot machine. If you lose every time, then you win. You feel really good. If that person's terrible to you most of the time or not available most of the time, but then they are, it hits so much harder. And that's what we're really looking for. At least unhealed and immature people, which is a lot of the population regardless of the age. What do you guys think about that?
I agree with that.
I agree.
Kind of build off what you just said. Sorry. Okay. You just said something really interesting. You said people want a reward. Well, usually reward always comes after challenge. So I think what really people want is they always want a challenge, but not an impossible challenge, but one that they know they can overcome. So I think a good part.
Women want challenge, right? They want the bad guy that they can, he's not too bad to where he's bad, but he only listens to me. Okay, he's bad, but I have a way of changing him, right? He listens to me. We have great conversations, but he's a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Men don't want challenges. We get enough challenges. Not from our women, all right? Yes, we want to be challenged as far as probably depending on your goal, but we don't want to be challenged by our women that we protect and provide for. That's the last thing we want to challenge us, right? We don't want to be challenged at home. We get challenged by the world all the time. Like nobody wants that. Sorry.
Does that? They challenge you. They challenge you to get better about your mental and physical health. They challenge you to get better about, building a family. They want you to challenge you about getting better about building wealth, building something together that you can pass on to your kids. So I think that's really what people want. And so like kind of going back to what we were talking about, put somebody on a pedestal. When you put her on a pedestal, like you said, it doesn't challenge you at all. So that's why you get bored. Like look at people who don't have any challenges in their life, kids that, the trust fund kids that grow up but have everything handed to them. They end up just going through life doing nothing productive.
A woman's body count matters more than a man's. We'll start by bringing up everyone that agrees now. I'm going to start with you.
This is not to disregard the fact that men can be sluts. That's not what I'm trying to say. But honestly, when I think about it, women mature a lot faster. Women really know what they're doing. And I don't mean to shame or anything like that, but I feel like it gets to a point. But personally, I feel like when it comes to like sexual relationships and sexual intimacy, that's supposed to be with somebody that you truly feel intimate with. And I know that not a lot of men feel that way, honestly, and they'll probably lay down with anything. But I feel like as a woman, you know who you want to give your body to and who you don't want to give your body to. So it's like when you're going outside of that comfort zone so much, or you've built this like tolerance to just sex to where it means absolutely nothing to you, it's like that. I don't think that's a good sign. So no, I'm not trying to say that like a woman's value diminishes the more bodies that she has or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like as a woman, you are kind of held to this standard. Like you need to.
Y'all put too much on this trying to appeal to everybody. Y'all just got to be likable in some way, form, or fashion. So what if they don't like what you're saying? You don't always got to say good things when you're talking about things that matter. Like, come on, bro. Like, you got to say good things before you scrutinize somebody. That's stupid. Like, it's stupid. Like, it's like, bro, men don't talk to each other like that. We say what we got to say and take it the way you want to take it. Like, y'all have to always say good things before you say something that could actually change somebody's mind, bro. It's so annoying. It's funny because that's the only way women listen. You got to say something nice to them first. It's like some kid stuff, dude. And it's sick. It's sickening because it takes too much this is why women talk a lot, right? Y'all jibber jabber too much to where y'all don't even get to the point. Y'all too busy bigging each other up before you say something that they need to change that's really hurting them, other than just being straightforward and just let's cut our bull crap out, let's get to it. And we men usually prefer stuff like that, man. It's hard to get to y'all when y'all do stuff like that.
You should hold yourself.
And that reminds me of the black community, for real, because niggas act like that for real. You can't tell a nigga nothing without saying nothing good about the black community first. Tell me something good first, or say something bad about the white man first before you tell me what's wrong about the black man.
To a standard is really what I should be saying. Like, you should know not everybody needs to see your body. Not everybody needs to be in your body. Not everybody needs to know who you are on a personal and on an intimate level, because as a woman, that's supposed to be reserved for your man. You feel me? So maybe if all your sexual relationships have been inside of intimate, real relationships, yes, but when you just out and about and just and ducking, I can't support that. I guess that's my opinion on it.
Okay. And is there one of you gentlemen that's ready to just get it going?
Yeah, I'll get it going. I feel like a key that opens a lot of locks is a master key, and a lock that opens for any keys is a lock. So, do what you want with that.
So I'll chime off of that just because it's really simply put. There's a lot of things that you could talk about in this conversation, but women control the sexual market. They control the dating scene. So if you are in control of that situation, or that scene, if you're allowing yourself to have a multitude of men come into your life, have sex with you, and then they leave you, that's a red flag for a man who's looking for a woman with a lower body count. Now, with that being said, to add on top of that, statistically speaking, women who sleep with men, like 5 men or more, are more likely to divorce in their first marriage. It's like almost, I think, up to 80%.
Where's that stat from?
Oh, well, we can pull it up after. That's
I
fine.
got
There's
you.
a
I'm
multitude
like,
of different
oh.
statistics that back that up. But yeah, I mean, end of the story, like a key that opens up a bunch of locks, like they present a ton of value. So, and I would like to refute off of what you said. You said that men can be sluts, and I would disagree with that. I would say men are the makers, because at the end of the day, a man has a ton of value. He's going to be able to be with a ton of women, right? But they're presenting themselves to him. Because at the end of the day, like in today's dating market, sexual market, women control it. So if men have that value and they're having sex with a lot of women, yeah, their body count isn't going to matter necessarily, to other men. But a lot of men in that way would look up to them and be like, dang, he gets a lot of women, so he has value. And the same thing with women. They're going to look at him and be like, dang, a lot of women want him. So what does he present that allows him to obtain this many women? So yes, in that regard.
I think I might have to just disagree with that just for a second. And I know I moved up here, so I know that I agree with the prompt, but I just have to disagree with that in a sense, because if I get with a man and I ask him, like, mind you, body count does not necessarily mean too much to me, but it means a little bit, you feel me? So it's like, if I get with a man and I'm like, what's your body count? And he's like, 25. I'm like, dang, it's only 4 seasons in a year. You only 25 years old yourself.
But ma'am, it's not to the detriment of your relationship. If you like him, you don't care that much to where you're gonna break up with him because of his body count. Men care about that. It's the reason why y'all hide it that much. You know better. You know, if you tell that guy that you like, that you really like, right? You genuinely like this guy. You want what's best for your relationship. Women are less likely to tell the guy the truth about their body count. Okay, it's just that simple. Y'all don't care that much.
So it just makes me think, like, what situations could you have possibly put yourself into that you would have gave yourself up that much? Because I do think that a man's body count matters. I'm not saying that it doesn't.
No, ma'am. You like him because his body count is high. You like him.
Shit like that.
Okay, it's not because it's the number. It's because of experience. When you come with experience, even in any job, if a dude come with experience, it come with confidence. With confidence, with experience comes confidence, right? If a dude walk up to you, because most women don't walk up to men. If a dude walk up to you and spit that ism to you, most of the time he learned it. He learned it by practicing it. He learned what works, what doesn't work. He became seasoned, right? You don't know how he became seasoned, but you know he became seasoned. But i.e., you know how. It's that simple. He's good with women. Y'all like men that are good with women, not men that are shy in the back, don't know how to talk to you, always studying when he around you, because that's not no rizzy. Okay, you're not putting that riz down. He ain't got no huzz, right? None of that. He ain't got that. You want that, all right? You fiend for that. That's what women fiend for. You gotta have game, i.e. game. What is a game, right? Things that you put down on women like a spell. Women love that. You gotta talk to their ears. Tell them what they want to hear. Pop that. You hear me? LA stuff. You gotta pop that. Y'all know how to pop it. That's what they like. I.e., you do like guys with high body counts. You might not say it, right? You might not say it out your mouth, but you do. That's why you can't listen to what women say. You have to watch what they do. Watch what they do. We are the fishermen. You watch how the fish swim through the tides. You watch where they hang out at, because I want this specific fish. Where do they hide out at? Where are their location? This is what you do. Okay? They can tell you whatever they want you to hear, but you have to look at their actions. Their actions speak that they like men with high body count. Okay? Let's move on.
Doesn't matter, but I'm saying, like, at the same way that I'm supposed to value myself and who I give my body to, as a man, that doesn't mean that you don't supposed to value yourself as well.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you at all. I think a majority of men do like try to conserve their body count to be low, but a lot of people don't. In today's society, a lot of times you see people go out to the clubs and enjoy that nightlife, and that's what they do. Now, I'm talking in a general perspective. This isn't a personal perspective. So personally for me, yeah, low body count for myself, but I'm saying in general, most women are going to inherently, it's something to be
man, you can't conform to that because you're not a woman. I don't understand why men always gotta conform to what women say. They don't want that. This is the problem with men. Yes, you might have to have a high body count because you got to learn how to deal with women's bullcrap. Women's job is to manipulate, right? They use makeup. They do everything, lip filler, shit. They do enhancements like a mug. They lie about their body count. They play innocent. They'll do whatever to get what they want. Okay, didn't used to be that way, but it is the way now. You got to look at the current market value, the current marketplace. Stop trying to be women. Oh, I care about my body count too because, it matters to me. You need experience. You got to learn how to deal with these heathen whores because most of these people they're not going to tell you who they are. You got to just know. You have to just pick up on it. Okay, you have to. And if you keep sitting here not getting experience, i.e. the red pill tell you to get women experience, you gonna come out here looking like a chicken with your head cut off, and them be the most red pill raised mother effers there is. If you listen to the red pill and take heed of what's going on, you won't be as mad when stuff happen. It's typical for women gonna lie about a body count. It's typical if a woman tell you some stuff like, yeah, I like a good guy, and she really don't. It's typical. It don't hurt me because I know you lying. I know you lying. You like what you like. You like the man with the riz. You like the bad guy. You can't tell me to be good and then skip over me and then tell me, yeah, I want good guys. No. I was good. Why you skip over me? Because I didn't like you at the time. But then when I developed this riz, become red pill rage, even though you don't like what I say, you still like what I'm putting down. Okay? You still like what I'm putting down.
Shit like that, shit like that, shit like that.
Stop listening to women because they're gonna run you rugged. That's their job. Their job is to do what's best for them. It's the marketplace. If I'm in a market, I'm gonna tell you what works best for me. I'm not gonna tell you things that I don't like, right? They like structure, but they don't like structure. Okay? They like bad guys, but they don't like bad guys. Okay, but they always flock to them. Okay, if you want a woman, come on, man. I'm just telling you what it is. If you want a woman, go fishing. See how the fish work. You're not gonna catch it all the time. But you watch the motherfuckers that's killing it with the catching fish, getting what fish they want. Okay? And then you'll learn the game. It's all a game, bro. It's all a game. You gotta have it in order to get what you want, man. Let's get it.
Wary of is your body count. Because a lot of men who are conservative, who are religious, they're gonna look at you and be like, well, if you got 10 bodies, like why would I marry you? Like, there's no need to do that. So yeah.
That's what I would speak on. Is like when you sit there and you think about a girl's perspective on it and a guy's perspective on it. Like a guy's perspective is they do value that somebody hasn't gone out and slept with a bunch of people and given a lot of that to other people. Where a lot of women, and not like specific humans that I want to point out, but I just know generally there's a lot of girls that are out there that say, oh well, I can sleep with whoever until I'm this age and then I'll decide I'm going to settle down, and they don't realize that a lot of men inherently do not value that. They value that they've held themselves to a certain standard and they don't, just give themselves up. That's not to say that men shouldn't do the same thing though. Like I also, in the same sense, think that men should also not be just going around sleeping with a ton of different people. And then when they decide, oh, I'm going to settle down now, that, it's not going to matter to that person as well. Like I think in a marriage, both of you should limit that amount of people that you've been with or that you've slept with, because kind of to your point earlier when you said like somebody slept with so many people that they lose that connection to be able to, if you're intimate with somebody, you can't connect with them the same way that it's supposed to be. And what God.
Hey bro, I understand what you're saying. I just think that, like, honestly, you need experience. Not saying it in that way, but you need it wholeheartedly. You need experience, bro. It's just that simple. So many guys that's falling that have money, you know what I'm saying, i.e. Larry, that's falling to have money because they don't know how to handle themselves. They never dealt with women that can manipulate them, lie to them, that could want them just for one thing. Like, you have to learn how to deal with that. You have to learn how to navigate in a world full of heathens that all talk about the same things, who all act the same way, who will stick up for each other when wrong. You have to understand what you're dealing with. You can't sit here and try to play women's games by trying to be women. Like, that's a women's game. All right, I gotta keep my body count low because, which is fine, it's honorable, of course, but at the end of the day, you get messed up, you get effed up, and nobody cares. They're gonna look at you like you should have known. That's what even a woman gonna look at you like you should have known. So what? You know what you signed up for. So in order to know what you signed up for, you have to play this game that you literally playing anyways. Okay, you gotta get your toe in there as a man, as a woman. It's not honorable because you could just literally go in anywhere, go into an alley and scream, hey, whatever, with your legs open. Somebody gonna show up. But then I don't know, but they gonna show up depending on, you know what I'm saying, depending on where you at, they gonna show up. But men, it's our job to have experience because women want that as well. No matter what you say, no matter how they tell you, no matter what, they want the experience. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. They're gonna go to the next guy, and then you're gonna be mad about the nice guy finished last. All right, it's a revolving door. And we all know as men who wins at the end. Okay, who wins?
God intended it for. So if you're gonna sit there and diminish that gift that we've been given, then it's not gonna mean something to you. And then back to Nico's point, it's like, well, now because you don't cherish that, or you don't feel the same connection that you should, people are more likely to get divorced because they don't get the connections that sex was intended for.
I think a little more tactful way to put what you're saying is kind of women, like we've also kind of touched on already, is women are the gatekeepers. Also, like you said, you guys are the gatekeepers of the opportunity to mate. So I think on the surface level, if you're willing to have a high body count and sleep with all these different guys, then obviously your standards for what you are going to be intimate with are a lot lower. That's just how that works. To go on a little bit of a deeper level, and I think more from your guys' perspective is sex is way riskier for women than it is men, right? Anything that can happen to a woman after a bad sexual encounter can happen to a man, and then some. You know what I mean? Like the big thing being an unwanted pregnancy. Like that's a huge risk for women, right? Yeah, we have a bunch of, we have contraceptives, but still, it still happens. I mean, how many times do we hear about it? So there is that. You said, a man's body count does matter. I think it does matter. I think if I remember correctly, almost everybody here is Gen Z.
Bro, honestly, it doesn't affect much. Okay, it does matter if you get too crazy, but it doesn't affect much. Okay, you just need, like I said, as a man, you need to experience, and don't skip out on that, because when you get married, if you lock it down, it's all your fault. The court system look at you like it's your fault. Everybody's holding you accountable for your mistake as far as not having experience. You needed to point out these bad behaviors from a woman, or choosing the wrong woman who don't want to hear what she's doing wrong, right? To where you're just sitting in a bubble of misery because you built this life for yourself and your children and her, and she's going to split it in half. Okay, custody and all that. It's more of a risk for us to lock it down than women. Okay, they get to act the way they want to act, hide in plain cover, and if you don't know, that's your own goddamn fault. And I'm telling you that because I care. All right, I care.
Probably the only millennial here in the room.
Yeah, there's 99.
Yeah, I'm 94, so I'm not 94 years old, but I know I look it, but I feel it. But it is one of those things that I've noticed too that I actually admired Gen Z for, is a lot less of them are going and throwing themselves around than what I saw. Like even just, maybe 10 years prior, going through school of like girls would be bragging about the guys they slept with, guys would be bragging about the girls they slept with. You don't see that as much anymore. So that's a way that I'm seeing society heal itself a little bit.
That has everything to do with our entire generation is in a spotlight now. Like
exactly.
Every single thing you do, like everybody knows about it. If you're out with a guy, there's going to be a post about it. If you're out with a ton of different girls, like you're going to see posts about it.
Exactly.
And everyone's constantly worried about that image that they have. So like, you don't get to just fly under the radar and do all these crazy things anymore as much as you used to.
With all this talk about women, I think it might be valuable to hear what the women think.
I'm glad to hear that when I was standing back there that it got brought up that body count should matter for men too. Because I think it's important that because to me, sex is an energy exchange. So you have to be able to, I want to make sure that you have good energy before I give you that part of myself, right? And that we can be reciprocal in that. I wasn't always like that, I suffered a lot of trauma from a young age. So my adolescence was a little risky. So does body count matter? No, because my body count, while it might have been on the higher side because of decisions.
No, you could tell she's about to go in and try to protect herself. Women always make it anecdotal, right? It's a prompt, but it's funny. That's why you got to learn how to listen to women, right? They tell you who they are, right? If you was on a date with her and you was trying to court her, right? You don't have to necessarily ask her body count, but if you do, and she go in her realm on, it shouldn't matter, she tell you exactly who she is.
Shit like that.
You know, it comes with experience. The way they answer questions, they don't have to ask it. They don't have to answer overtly, but that the way she answered it tells you that she's gonna either stick up for it, shame men as well. Like, is this a feminist aspect of it? She's a whore. Used to be, still is, right? Red flag. I don't care if you got your life together, because if I used to beat women, do you care about if it was 7-8 years ago and I just stopped? Like, you don't care. Nobody cares about that. What that means is that it's a detriment to the man, because your past trauma that you went through as far as dealing with all these men, it could come and harm me, because you don't feel the same way that a regular woman that doesn't have any trauma towards men, treating them a certain way. You don't have those same feelings as like innocent, like, okay, he cannot be lying. Okay, he might not be lying. He might not do this. I need to check his phone. I need to check his location. He might be giving me a hard time due to what other people did. I don't got to deal with that, all right? And the other aspect, people may be laughing at me in the streets dealing with you because they know about, they did something with you. And I'm sitting here carrying this baggage that I know nothing about because you don't even want to disclose this information. And it's not healthy for men to be with whores. It's just not healthy.
I made as a teenager, that shouldn't be held to me now, because I've done the work, I've healed, I've grown. I no longer do that. So I don't want to judge anybody for decisions that they've made in their past. I don't want to judge anybody. A body count shouldn't matter, because if you're making those decisions now of going out and sleeping around with everybody, then yeah, that matters. But because of maybe something that you did when you were a teenager, and because of whatever reason, trauma, whatever, shouldn't be held against a person now. That shouldn't devalue them, because who I was at 13, 14, 15 years old is not who I am now as, you know, a grown adult. That is where for me it's like, does body count really matter in that regard? No, because I'm not going to judge you for where you've been. I want to see you where you are now. So what are you doing?
You were forced not to judge me to where I've been, because look at what you've done in your past. You were forced out of that. You have no right to. Okay, that's not because you became a better person, because you can't. You did what you did in your past. How could you ever tell me anything about mine? How could you ever? You can't care at this point. You did too much. All right. I wish men could do this judo mindset thing that they could just manipulate to people to think that how they want them to think. It should not matter, because what I've done in my past. It should not matter because I've fucked up so many times that nobody should care about. That's how women do things. You can't do that in the dating room. Men care about this. This is why y'all so in awe when we keep telling you the same thing. We care. We care about you guys doing that. So you trying to enforce and try to explain, and it's never going to change how men feel about that. Just like how y'all feel about brokies. Nigga can't provide you with anything. Now he has to be an outstanding guy in some way as far as being attractive for you to deal with him. But if he ain't got nothing to bring to the table, y'all appalled by the guy. It's just like he just don't like. This is why you overlook a guy that's working at McDonald's, overlook a guy working at a CVS. It's not a pharmacist, but that's in the front check lane. A guy that's bagging groceries. You overlook these guys because unless you're, I guess you're in that circle. But most of the time you overlook the guy because he can't provide. He can't help me. He can't help me better myself. And I can't extract resources from him. He has no resources for me to abstract. I'm gonna be stuck in the same position as where I was if I date this guy. We are appalled by that. You have to respect that. And I just feel like those that think like this doesn't have respect for men and what we want. Respectfully, we don't like that. You know we don't. Don't try to change the game. That's just what it is. Men care about that. You care about this. That's just what it is. It's never gonna change. I don't care. Some guys could suppress it, but eventually it will come up. Right?
Doing now. If you're doing that now, then that's fine. Go live your life. I don't agree with that personally, and I'm not living my life that way. But you know, I'm not going to judge somebody for what they've done in their past per se, in terms of the decisions because of whatever reason. Like in my case, trauma and abuse, which then triggered it to become, you know, more of a pattern rather, you know. So we should, you know, not hold people to things that they've done in the past.
Nope, we should, because if you out here hurting people due to your past traumas, right, versus the black community, and that's where I come from. Niggas out here hurting each other, but they got every reason in the world to tell you why they done it. Past trauma. All right, my homie just got clapped. Why? That's why I'm out here clapping all type of people, innocent, whoever. That's not a good reason. Like, we don't care. Stop trying to enforce bad behavior into society. Don't enforce your bad behavior on other people. We don't like that. You're talking to the people that has to accept this and live with it just as much as you. If we're willing to take on the burden of you and your deeds, my guy, that's not right. We don't want that. Understand that and respect it. It's just that simple. Y'all don't respect it. Y'all always want to change the game. Y'all always want to keep coming to this table with new rules when it comes to y'all fucking this whole shit up. Y'all fucking this up. It's not like y'all gonna, now that you did all the stuff that you did, you want a broke guy. You know, you want the same guy that everybody, all the other girls want. You want to get taken care of just like all the other girls got taken care of. You don't. The sense of entitlement is still there, okay, as if you did nothing. And that's the problem that we're having. Men are not getting what they're paying for, and that's not fair, all right? And y'all don't care about being fair. Y'all just care what's best for you. This is why you change the rules, i.e. you come back to the table, even if you are a slower, and just create new rules because it benefits you. What about me? Nobody cares. And then guess what? You know what you signed up for if she end up cheating, if she end up taking half your things, if she end up... These are very detrimental to men, and we've seen it plenty of times to just ignore it. All right, we have to hold you accountable for what you've done in your past because it matters. And i.e., it should happen to the same, not in regard to body count, but in regards to you putting a man being overly aggressive towards women. Yeah, you should look at that. It's just that simple, because you got to protect yourself. I got to protect my pockets and what I own, and the things I want to give to my family as a man that I work hard for. I shouldn't just be giving it to a woman that's just a reformed whore, and then she might she might go back to her bad deeds. No, if you are a reformed whore, you should be begging for a man to come save you on your knees all the time, right? Not talking about nothing sexual, but you should be an excellent person of listening. You should not have any standards towards a man doing this. You shouldn't, none of that, okay? Because it has to be fair. Most guys don't deal with women that has high body counts because y'all entitled still. Y'all still have you shouldn't do this. If you want to win, I'm gonna tell you this as a woman that has a high body count. If you want to win, Be likable as much as you can. Be grateful. Be very grateful of a man coming to save your life out these streets, because it end up being a revolving door. Because once you're a whore, guys hear that, that's what they want. You can't be a whore for him and be this virgin for me. That's not going to work. You got to be a whore all the way around. That's how men look at it. It may suck, but it sucks to suck. You know what I'm saying?
I'd like to state I've been celibate for a year, just before I start this. But with the lock and key statement that was made earlier, I think this is a mindset that men hold. To a lot of men, body count does matter, but I think a lot of women are also wanting a lot of the men that are on the market. And personally, like for me, the same group of people that talk about having like post-nut clarity is never somebody I would ever take sexual advice from, because I've never experienced that a day in my life. If I had sex with somebody, if I looked at something, I never thought, maybe shouldn't have done that after. Like, I was decisive in my choices of giving my body.
The point is that you're single still. Like, ma'am, it's not a flex. Having post-nut clarity means nothing. Just because you think, oh, I should never done that, doesn't mean anything. Honest, you in the same boat as a man that has post-nut clarity, because at the end of the day, you have sex with this guy and you're no longer with him. He got everything from you. He stole your soul. Okay, we could still get a duly candidate out here that possibly lower body count around the virgin area, right? If we get our money up, if we get our masculinity up, right, and we focus on things we need to focus on, we can still get a great partner. But your past matters. I don't care if you did it with good intentions. You can do bad things with good intentions. That's what you're not understanding. That's not a flex, man. You got to understand that.
To someone, and the same way we talk about a lock and a key, I personally don't want a lollipop that everyone has put in their mouth. So it's like, you can say, oh, you know, it's different for men and women, but an extremely lustful man who has slept with multiple people, I think will continue that lustful behavior. And we've seen this with celebrity relationships. Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. I mean, like, you can be as good of a wife as you can. And if you have a lustful man by you, he will pick the not choosable woman, the woman that is not marriage material.
Bro, I got to keep all of this because this is very disturbing because women talk like this, right? Y'all control what a good wife is. Y'all not asking a guy what a good wife is, all right? Y'all do what y'all want throughout marriage because y'all know y'all grab him by the balls. You say you can be a good wife. What is a good wife to you? A good wife should listen to what her husband say. A good wife will do whatever her husbands tell her to do. That's not degrading or trying. And I don't think a husband will make his wife do degrading things. A good wife will listen to her husband. Most of y'all are combative. Y'all not. Y'all very irresponsible when it comes to money, spending guys' money. Y'all very inconsiderate, and y'all don't care about what the man wants. And then y'all still claim that y'all's good wives. You never let a woman. You never let a woman just tell the story. You have to get both sides. I'm bringing that up because when a man cheats, you don't know why. Ask the man why. Most of the time, y'all don't want to listen. So y'all just get to paint narratives. And if you paint a narrative, then also it's like you lying because you don't want them to know the truth because it makes you look bad. And most of the time, women will jeopardize the truth to make themselves not look bad. It's just that simple.
And he'll still cheat behind your back and go cheat with the one that is easily accessible. So I think like this whole, also, if I lie to you and tell you my body count is something that it's not, you have no way to prove that I'm not like telling the truth. So at the end of the day, I think it's truly a mental thing. If you're gonna say I want a partner who isn't sexually all over the place, you should hold that same standard for yourself, because to think that you're gonna get into a relationship and all that's gonna be magically gone, I think it's really silly to think that.
Okay, ma'am. So if you broke, you shouldn't want a man that got money.
Shit like that.
You should date a nigga at McDonald's. You should not be one of the nigga that got a pension, got health insurance. You should not want a nigga that got that going on because you're not on that, right? That's what you're basically saying, right? You can't do this. There's too many squares trying to fit a triangle in there. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Stop it. Stop. Okay? At the end of the day, women are women, men are men. We look for total different things within the dating dynamic or a family dynamic. We look for total different things. And if you keep trying to fit this, you keep trying to force this, you're going to keep being single. You cannot force this. Stop. All right? It doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, you stop. It's just that simple. But y'all keep forcing and pushing this until once you force something, eventually it ends. This is where we're at in society.
If you are a lustful creature and you have sex with just about anything just to get your rocks off, in a relationship, you're probably not going to be able to just tone that down. Or
I'm in a relationship and a person asks me their body count, they're not the person for me. I think that's very childish behavior. As long as you're tested, we're adults. I don't really care. I'm not saying I'm going out and being with everybody, but I'm very to myself as a person. And if I choose you, I chose you for a reason. But again, with the lustful thing, if you're having sexual encounters with 100 people, it probably shows in other aspects of your life, and not wanting or not having enough in other aspects. And then also the energy exchange. I think giving yourselves, body, both men and women, to someone, it definitely plays a part in your mental health. That's why everyone, no matter what gender, should be cautious of what you're getting yourself into. But also women are at risk for higher sexual assault, rape, and I don't think it's anybody's place to tell them how they should heal. Whether that is, again, it's not the most unhealed version, but sleeping with people to get their power back, there's no room to judge on how someone heals. It might not be the right way, but to me, I'm not going to judge anybody for doing that.
Shut up, man. She's lying, man.
Bruh.
Shut your stupid. We all have standards. Y'all just mad that the standard is that we look at your past when it's sexually. Now, if a nigga was abusive and hurting his woman and all that, y'all care. Oh yeah, because guess what? It could affect you. This is why I tell you that women are very selfish in the dating room. They don't care. They want you to adhere to what they believe is fair, not about what you believe is fair, what they believe is fair. And if you don't, then you're too judgmental. You're not the man for me, which is fine because you did us a favor. You're not helping us. And my thing is you just locked your own self in to guys that will literally use you and abuse you. So if I know you care, right, about me asking about body count, I know that's a no, don't ask you about that. I already know you're slower. I already know that if I don't ask, I'm gonna play the game until I get what I want. You gonna open them things for me. All I gotta do is play this game to wiggle in there. And then once I'm out, I'm out. I don't care. You do me a favor. I got your soul. I stole your soul. Who cares? But the conservative guy who actually cares about your body count, actually wanted to get to know you, you just X those guys out. Because he wants to see if it's fair to invest his life earnings into you, because that's what y'all want. Y'all want your life earnings, okay? And the problem is that y'all all want to disguise yourself as good women when y'all out here being sluts. But when y'all are done, you don't get to do that. All right, you don't get to play with us like that no more. It used to be a thing. Now it's not. Like, we're not doing that. The good guys are the ones who finish last because they sit there and waiting for a whore that's going to literally lie to them in their face or shame them for asking them a good question when it comes to the investment. Y'all wouldn't do it when it comes to your investment because women are kind of smart when it comes to things that is kind of detrimental towards themselves. That's why they lie about their body count, because they know it's going to be hurtful to them when it comes to getting what they want in a dating room, right? Or them wearing makeup or things of that nature. Like, they lie to get what they want. But to men, we can't hold you accountable because that's just too much. That sounds too much like right.
in charge how? Like, I
feel like men set that system up.
yeah.
That's a system that's set
Real
up by
quick,
men.
I just want to say the alternative would be unconsensual. Like, what he's saying in the literal sense would be you would have to allow him. I just don't want it to get mixed up.
Usually it's the man who presents the question and it's the girl who says yes or no.
Correct.
And if it's the other way around, it's basically, consensual, which is not.
Yeah, I only said that just 'cause I don't want it to be confused.
I thought I was hearing that wrong. My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. Because I think, and I think it's kind of look at it like, do men create it? I doubt it, because in nature, in every other creature, basically, every other species, the female ends up selecting. So I would say that it's a trend. So I think it's a safe assumption that it's the same for humans as well.
I would agree.
So you would agree? I'm curious to see your answer. Would you agree that women allow access?
I think, yes, but also if a man's asking 100 people, then...
Well, who's to say he's asking? I mean, it could just be. But the reason why I ask is just because you brought up the STD and STI, scenario. But like, if women are presenting that they're answering the question to men asking, hey, the man's asking, can I have sex with you? And she's like, yeah, right? She's allowing the access for sex to happen. So majority of the time, it's predominantly women who are having sex more, which is why that STI and STDs are spreading more. in accordance to your logic.
It's also
having sex with the same guy over and over. They're having sex with the same type of guy. So the bad guy that all these women are saying, fuck niggas, they all having sex with the same freaking guy, man. They're all having sex with the same. And that's the ultimate truth of everything. They're gonna sit here and tell you, we care about your body count too, because women are that spiteful. They're gonna sit here and tell you that you shouldn't share your body like that either. If you're gonna judge me, you should be judged on body count. But they date the guys that have a high body count all the time. You know why? Because they don't care. This means nothing when it comes to action. Why are you dating these guys that keep having sex with multiple women? Because they're attractive. They can't help who they're attracted to. And I'm not shaming them for it, but don't sit here and lie to us. This is the problem that we're having. We don't care that you're whores. We don't care. Be honest about it though. That's the only thing that's the problem. If you're not honest about it, you're lying. And you're trying to take advantage of the marketplace, because if I knew the truth, there will be no conversation. Okay? This is the problem that we're having as men. And all right, guys, that's the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think, man. Was I on the right page? Does a woman body count matter? It's up to you, man. I don't know. It's your boy South Central, man. West Coast, we up.
We be really politicking while we whipping in the kitchen. God be my witness. At the age of 15, I was fighting my fitness. My life so